Welcome my fellow citizens. By the time you are watching this video, probably the Star Citizen 4.8 is out. With it comes clean wipe. Now with this new update, I also want you to have the smoothest and best performance in Star Citizen. So we're gonna do today optimization for Star Citizen 4.8 and beyond. So I'm gonna divide this in two sections. First section is processor and PC, and the second one is GPU and the game. Now in this optimizations, there will be everything for everyone, for the high-end PCs, mid-range and low. I will not draw a boundary between low, high, medium. You have to decide for yourself depending on which resolution you play and which GPU you have. What I will say is the NVIDIA users with 40 and 50 series will have a different optimization, and NVIDIA users and AMD users who have older GPUs like 30 and 20 series will have a little bit different optimization for the GPU. If you enjoy my videos, and especially this one about optimization, don't hesitate to subscribe, like and share, and also turn that bell icon so you don't miss my next video. Alright, let's get into it. So first thing that we have to do is go to your PC. Ctrl-Alt-Delete, go to the task manager, startup apps. This is the best way to ensure that your processor is not overpowered with a lot of apps that you don't need. Here, disable everything that you don't need. I already done that. This is what I have. Now I have a lot of optimizations about PC in general and also the Star Citizen, so I will not try to repeat those. I will just say that which are really important, and I'm gonna link these videos here for you to watch because there is really a lot. But now I'm gonna try to make it more compact. Now that you have done this, there are two more ways to optimize performance. Now for Intel users, I don't have a lot, sorry, I don't have an Intel CPU, but for the Ryzen users, there are a lot of things that you have to do. First thing, if you have a CPU which has a 3D cache, you definitely have to install the app called Process Lasso. Ryzen processor architecture with the 3D cache is divided into two pieces, one with the cache and one without cache. What you want to ideally do with this app is set everything to CCD 1, which do not have cache, and your games like Star Citizen and every other game on CCD 0, where the cache is. And like that, look at this here, all my apps are on CCD 1, so basically when I turn my game on, everything will be here. So I will not try to describe you the process how to do it here. I'm gonna make a separate video about this and then explain everything. But what you don't know is this app is really useful, and it will make huge difference between optimized Star Citizen without lags and normal Star Citizen. The next thing that you want to do about your PC is debloat it. I will not here mention which app. There's a lot of apps. You just Google it, how to debloat your Windows. Remove anything that you don't need. I would recommend for you without using apps. So if you don't want third apps, just go to the control panel, uninstall programs. Use everything that you do not need and uninstall it. This is a basic recommendation for any CPU and PC to start. You don't want your CPU to be overused because Star Citizen is very heavily dependent on CPU still, and until the CIG optimizes the game, it will be like that. Now the next thing that we want to do is in NVIDIA control panel. We're gonna open here NVIDIA control panel, and we're gonna open NVIDIA app. If you do not have installed the NVIDIA app, you should definitely do that. This is one of the most useful tools that you can have, and it's really good right now. In the NVIDIA control panel, this is this on the left, we're gonna go here and set up your resolution and your highest refresh rate. Also, if you have a G-Sync available monitor, enable the G-Sync for the window and full screen. And then also you will go to the manage 3D settings and scroll all the way down until you find the vertical sync. And you're gonna turn the vertical sync on. This will have G-Sync and vertical sync combo, which will make your game run very smooth without any tearing whatsoever. Bear in mind that this vertical sync has to be turned off in the game. So you can use this for any game in your PC, but you have to turn off V-Sync in the game. Now also this is very important, shader cache. Set it to 10 gigabytes. This is perfect for Star Citizen. A lot of people think that if you put prefer maximum performance will do something else. It will not. your GPU is already working at the maximum performance. So it doesn't matter. Write me down in the comments what do you think about this. I have tested both and I didn't have single change in FPS or smoothness with the normal and maximum performance. What will help you is undervolt and overclock your GPU. But that's a story for another video. If you want that video, please write me down in the comments, because that will definitely change completely how your GPU works and how much electricity it consumes. Because I have a 5090 and my GPU uses only 300, which is crazy watts when you compare how much that GPU normally eats. Maximum in some very heavy games like, I don't know, Crimson Desert, I use 450. Now, next step that I recommend is here, limit your max frames. I recommend to putting around 120 FPS, even if your monitor goes above. If you want it only on Star Citizen, do not set it here. Since I have a monitor which is 120, I have limited for my entire PC 120. So if you have monitor that can go more and you play other games, do not set it here, leave it as a default. We're gonna set that in the NVIDIA app specifically for Star Citizen, and the rest of the things can stay as they are. Now here we have finished with the NVIDIA control panel and we can close it. The next step is in NVIDIA app. You have to go to the graphics, to the Star Citizen. If your Star Citizen is not here, you will add it with these 3 dots, add program, and go to the folder where the Star Citizen is installed and select the Star Citizen, and it will be added here. If the Star Citizen is grayed out after you add it, then you have to do this. You have to use DLSS override. I have a video specifically how you have to do this, but basically you will download this app. I'm gonna put a link under this video, and you will have to close all NVIDIA apps and click process. That's it. After that, your PC will be able to recognize the Star Citizen and allow you the customization. Now here we are coming to the most important things, NVIDIA app settings for the Star Citizen. So this is what I use. For the frame generation, the Star Citizen still doesn't support it, so it doesn't matter, just leave it as it is. But this part here. Now, if you have 40 and 50 series graphics card and you have a Ryzen with a 3D cache CPU, I highly recommend that you use DLLA instead of DLSS. Why? Because the Star Citizen is not optimized. When you use DLSS, for some reason, the game uses more CPU power and your game stutters, and it doesn't give enough FPS as it does with DLLA. With DLLA, it pushes the optimization to the GPU and you will have more graphics power. There is one more step that we have to do inside of the game, and that is set it on native instead of DLSS. I'm gonna show it to you later. If you have 30, 20 and weaker GPU, don't do this. You're gonna use the quality balance of performance depending on how good your GPU is. If you have, for example, 3090, then I recommend using still DLLA. But if you have 3060 or 3070 or 2070, then use performance. And once you set that to performance, you will have to go here and super resolution, select preset L. Why L? So if you use performance and use preset L, you will get the most smoothness and good optimization. If you use NVIDIA DLLA, if you have 40 and 50 series, then go with preset M. Before I would recommend the preset K, but from Star Citizen 4.7 that has been changed. Now you have to use the preset M, and it will give you a little better performance, but it will use a little bit more power compared to preset K. So if you don't want to use so much power, then you can still use preset K. So what I'm using right now, and you if you have 40 and 50 series graphics card, is DLLA with super resolution preset M. If you have weaker GPU, you're gonna use performance and then preset L. Very important part. If you have 50 and 50 series, smooth motion. Turn this immediately on and never look back. Now people will tell you that this, when you turn on, increases latency, and that is true, but automatically latency mode is set on ultra when you turn the smooth motion on. And believe me, the Star Citizen is the least problem with the latency because the servers are so bad. I was also competing, playing on Arena Commander with that crossbow, and I was winning with the smooth motion on. So yeah, no problem whatsoever there. And here we are coming to the max frame rate. So if you do not want to limit your frame rate for every game, but you just want it for Star Citizen, then you go to the Star Citizen, and here you limit your FPS to 116 or 120, whatever you like. But do not go, I do not recommend to go over that. Even if you have a 5090 as I have, even if you have monitor with 300 or 400 FPS, use maximum 120. Why? Well, let me explain. The Star Citizen is still not optimized. In the space, sometimes you can go with 5090, 400 FPS, and then you come close to the planet and the DPS drop all the way to 20. You will have major stuttering because your GPU has to work to 400 and then 20 only. But when you put it to 120, then there is not so much gap, so it doesn't have to push so many FPS, and this will be much better. As I said, power management, leave it to normal, and then go here, RTX Dynamics Vibrance. I definitely recommend you to use this. This is very good for me. These are my settings. I set them to 3 and 50. Works like a charm. It will give you a little bit more vibrance in your game, and the game will be super good. Now we have finished with the graphics card, and these are the settings that you have to have. With these settings, Star Citizen will work completely different. The next step that we have to do is in the game. So we're gonna jump in the game, and I'm gonna show you the settings that you have to change there. Now before we go into the game, for the owners of GPUs that are not 40 and 50, so lower end, I recommend using Lossless Scaling instead of smooth motion. What this Lossless Scaling does is it will give you frame generation on any game. This is so good, guys. It's so easy to use and it will help you tremendously. These are my settings. You can copy them and then go and play. Make sure to turn all of these three on. Only draw FPS. If you don't want to see FPS, you can turn off. And here, capture DXGI. And also very important, multi-display mode. Turn it on even if you do not have a second monitor. This is because Lossless Gaming works something different. Now once you're ready, when you turn this on, everything, just click scale and then click on Star Citizen. That's it. And you have frame generation inside of Star Citizen. Even with 20,000 GPU from NVIDIA, even with AMD users, everyone. This is so good and I recommend this app to anyone. This is not expensive. You can buy it on Steam, but you can also find it for free if you know where to look. I highly recommend for you to have a little bit more FPS to use this. Alright, now we are in the game. Let's go to the options. By default, Star Citizen will run on Vulkan. You can also turn off the DirectX 11, whatever you like more. I'm using Vulkan right now, but maybe in future I'm gonna test DirectX 11. With DirectX 11 you get a little bit better image quality, but with Vulkan you will have more smooth game. Now very important here, video memory usage. Now the Star Citizen, as I said, is still not optimized, and if you are looking which overall quality preset to use, if you are, I don't know, playing on 2K and you have 5070 or 4080, 4070, I recommend using everything very high, set it, do not touch it anymore. That's it. If you have lower end GPU, I still recommend using high, because as I said, Star Citizen not optimized. Even if you use medium or low, you do not get a lot of FPS. Very important here is to have resolution on your native screen, because that will give you the best quality image. Remember, I am optimizing your PC for the best quality and smoother Star Citizen. So if you have, as I said, 40 and 50 series graphics card, here where the upscaling is, do not use quality, use native AAA. That's it. And then select NVIDIA DLSS, or if you have AMD, try CIG or AMD FSR, whichever works better for you. For the NVIDIA users, definitely use transformer here, so you can use the Model L and Model M depending on which GPU you have. HDR you can use if you like, I don't use it. Now, as I said, all of these settings are just preset. I just set up ultra and that's it what I have. This thing you can change if you have ultra wide monitor so that your visor has a little bit better view. So if your UI is too close, then you can use this and widen it a little bit. Now here is very important, field of view. The depth field will be around 80 or something, which is wrong. Go to 100 and that will be perfect. On ultra wide monitors, test for yourself. See what works for you best. Now this settings here, gamma, brightness and contrast. This will not impact your performance, but the image that you see. Normally the Star Citizen is a little bit washed out, but if you use gamma to 46, then the brightness at 55 or 57, let's say 57, if you bump the brightness up, then you have to bump the contrast too. So this is very good for you, optimized, see the colors that you like. Every monitor is a little bit different, this works perfectly for me, but generally you have to have contrast a little bit more than a brightness and gamma just a tad little bit down. Motion blur turn off, or you can turn it on, whatever you like. Normally I use this on when I record videos, so it gives a little bit better view. Sharpening and chromatic aberration, leave it as it is. And that's it. There's not a lot of optimization inside of the game that we can do. Most of the optimization come before you even turn the Star Citizen on. That will determine how good your performance is. Alright, my fellow citizens, here we are in the game. And an artisan. We have some dead bodies. I'm still waiting for 4.8 to drop. Maybe by the time you watch this video it will be already. So you can see here no stuttering whatsoever. I don't know why the NPCs are all dead and naked. They killed themselves before the update. Oh my god, look at the ship over there. Yep. Everything this is going away in a few moments. Ma'am, what happened here? Did you kill everyone here? This is crazy. Anyway, you can see how good this thing is. Before, I would not even have 80 or 60 FPS here and it would be very, very stuttery. Now it's buttery smooth. So yeah, that was it, my fellow citizens. Whether you are a new player or old player, I think these optimizations will definitely help you. Look at that Aurora over there. Enable these settings, it will definitely help you and you will have much smoother and better gameplay. Write me down in the comments, did this help you? And if it did, please subscribe, like and share. And with this video I'm saying goodbye to 4.7 and my beautiful armors. I'll have to grind you again. Until next video, see you in 4.8 in the defense con.